As with anything in business, and indeed with life, if there is an agreement to do things in a certain way but no mechanism in place to measure whether this is happening, performance will not be met. This brings about the concept of contract management, the process of methodically managing contracts with the intention of minimizing financial and operational risks and optimizing vendor performance. The key objectives of contract management are to ensure that the contract is delivered on time at the right place and in the right quantity, completed to the required specifications, standards and/or quality, and completed within the agreed price.
Organizations are under increasing pressure to save on expenses while still improving financial and operational performance. Regulatory requirements, globalization, and growth in contract volume and complexity have resulted in a growing appreciation for the value and relevance of good contract administration. The COVID-19 pandemic also triggered changes in contract terms between suppliers and their manufacturing and retail customers, as businesses attempt to manage the risks and additional expenses caused by frequent delays and disruptions.
The reality is that contract management does not always proceed as planned, and poor contract management frequently kills the contract's effectiveness. These problems arise as a result of lack of contract management expertise, misalignment of objectives between client and supplier, reluctance by the supplier to cooperate in value for money or benchmarking tests conducted by the organization, misunderstanding of what has been agreed, and payment problems, among others. It is for this very reason that a contract management plan is developed.
A formal contract management plan is typically unnecessary for low relative expenditure and easily procurable goods and services. On the other hand, a high-value acquisition will necessitate a dictated contract management team, as well as increased monitoring, evaluation, risk management, sound decision-making, and relationship management. Too many checks and balances can lead to unduly bureaucratic culture, which can slow down decision-making and stifle innovation, and a lack of control can also encourage culture of irresponsible crisis management.
A supplier positioning matrix informs an organization's contract management approach. Organizations whose overall strategy is tactical acquisition put minimum attention and use a brief contract management plan for once-off contracts or purchase order. Organizations whose overall strategy is tactical profit leverage through bulk purchasing using a short contract management plan on a short term.
On the other hand, organizations that focus on strategic security utilize detailed contract management plan on a long term. Organizations whose overall strategy is strategic critical also use detailed contract management plan, but on a medium or long term to ensure contingency planning in the event of failure of the supplier to meet their obligations. To ensure clarity of obligations, liabilities, and deliverables, organizations also use service level agreements, SLAs.
Service level agreements, SLAs, are contracts between service providers and customers that define the services provided, the metrics associated with these services, acceptable and unacceptable service levels, liabilities on the part of the service provider and the customer, and actions to be taken in specific circumstances. There are advantages and disadvantages to using SLAs. The advantages are that customers and service providers are clearly defined, and the focus is on what a service actually does rather than a belief about the service, among others. A possible increase in bureaucracy and time is wasted if clear goals and objectives are not established at the outset, as well as joint SLA drafting, negotiation, and measurement processes are some of the drawbacks of SLAs.
Once contracts are in place, vendor performance must be measured and managed against set obligations. Performance management must be undertaken throughout the contract lifecycle of all contracts, whether they are simple and straightforward or complex. Performance monitoring means measuring, analyzing, and managing a supplier's ability to comply with and preferably exceed their contractual obligations.
The extent to which a supplier's performance is monitored should be defined by the level of risk involved in the purchase and the type of goods or services offered. Direct monitoring by the procurement partner, frequent reporting by the supplier, customer monitoring, independent monitoring, or some mix of these measures may be used to monitor the supplier's performance. Many significant indicators can be used to analyze supplier performance and determine whether a good practice is being reached in specific instances. These include product quality, mean time between failure, percentage of incoming rejects, and warranty claims.
Performance measurement may reveal poor performance. Approaches to dealing with the supplier's poor performance may entail progress meetings and reviews, agreed problem-solving mechanisms and dispute resolution processes, and, as a last resort, terminating the contract and seeking damages from the supplier.
Contracts can only be relevant if they are well managed and the supplier's performance in terms of delivery and quality is measured effectively. A contract plan thus aids the management of procurement risks and offers an audit trail of paperwork to support and justify crucial contract management decisions made over the contract's life.